years. So it's kind of like an accident of history that we still have
we
Shakespeare.
out here.
You know, if his plays had gotten lost and Christopher Marlowe's had survived, we might be reading Marlowe today instead of Shakespeare.
I didn't even know who these guys are.
That's like, again, unless you are basically an English teacher or an English professor nowadays, you don't know who these guys are. But in their time, they were just as famous as Shakespeare.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Marlowe was considered the equal. Like if you hear a lot of those conspiracy theories that Shakespeare wasn't actually real, and a lot of people say there's some people who say that it was actually Christopher Marlowe faked his own death and then started writing as Shakespeare. Is a conspiracy theory that goes around because Marlowe was killed in like a tavern brawl or something like that when he was fairly young, like in his 30s.
They don't know about us.
Again, there are some conspiracy theorists who say that he wrote as Shakespeare instead.
So is there something there's like no like you don't know who like the picture of Shakespeare might actually be him or something?
So it's like, how do you prove stuff like this?
Yeah.
Like people who don't want to believe are just not going to believe.
Like what makes you think like that's not him?
It's just like the people if somebody doesn't believe we landed on the moon in 1969, like there's no amount of evidence you can give them that it's going to.
The Earth is flat.
Exactly. Like if somebody believes that, you can show them all the evidence in the world, and
isn't there like there's like not an actual picture of the Earth, isn't there? It's like all solar or something. I don't know.
Like we have legitimate pictures of the Earth from. I guess if you believe that mankind hasn't been to space, then you would say that those are just all like computer images or something like that. But like I remember like freshman year Earth science class, like the first thing we did was my teacher was like, I'm going to explain to you why the Earth is round, and I'm going to show you the proof that the Earth is round. And the first thing he showed us that so if you go to the beach sometime. If you were to put like poles in the water that were all, let's say every pole was like stuck out 4 feet above the water.
Yeah, it was like shorter, right?
And then if you step to the side, you'll watch and they will look like they are getting shorter as they move away from you, which is kind of empirical proof that the world is round or curved at least.
Maybe it's just a hill in the water.
Yes, maybe water doesn't rest flat. Maybe water forms hills.
Water's not wet.
Water's not wet. All right, so and then Shakespeare, again, English teachers, we love Shakespeare because his language is difficult. You know, it's not that his stories are so great.
Those other guys write like that.
No, I mean they're like so. Marlowe and Spencer and Sidney, like it would be difficult for you to read in the way Shakespeare is, but Shakespeare's language is even more varied than theirs were.
So they weren't like thou and all that.
No, people like so that is how people talk. Like thou, thee, thy, thine. Those were their pronouns.
That's weird.
Yeah, but they didn't talk in like iambic pentameter and a lot like people don't talk in long monologues unless you're an English teacher. You don't, or a history teacher. Like people don't normally get up in front of an audience and then speak for 5 or 6 minutes interrupted. Like conversation is usually like a back and forth type of thing. So like that's what I think people find weird about Shakespeare. Again, his language is difficult. People talk in these big, huge monologues, and the pronouns are weird. But in a lot of these other guys, you're still going to find the pronouns. You're still going to find the monologues, but I think the language is maybe, I don't know, it's hard, but in a different way than Shakespeare's was.
Interesting.
All right. So today, a couple of you did the No Red Ink. Thankfully, I had people in other classes who did it, so I was able to look and start seeing what we know, what we don't seem to know about grammar. So we're going to start with one little quick thing that we'll do together. If we do it together, that means if you do it with us, you can all get hundreds on it. And then,
so we want to do the No Red Ink.
Oh, you still need to do that.
Oh,
So
shoot.
this is the first little follow-up here. So if you go to your No Red Ink, you're going to see Diagnostic 1 punctuating clauses. I will help you through that. We'll do this together, and you can get a nice, easy 100, and hopefully learn a little bit about commas and when to use them. Because if there's one thing I know, it's that high schoolers do not know how to use commas.
What's this under?
If you go to No Red Ink and click
Bitch,
on
get out of here, boy.
You'll see, you should see
Bitch
this
with that
here.
goofy
Diagnostic
shit.
1, punctuating clauses.
Use that lunch.
Due today at 3 p.m.
I don't know. Every time I try to use the ones you have, they never work.
You shame on me, no shame on you. You gotta put the blame on you.
Take it over here. I can invite God's work over here.
Why not looking at me when you live your books? Alright. Hear that?
Alright.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Alright. So we're going to talk briefly about one example of when to use commas and when not to use commas. Alright. Does anybody know what a clause is? Not the guy who brings you presents. The other type of clause, the literary
Santa
grammatical
Claus?
clause.
I don't think we're on the same page.
Dakota's rocking the Teachel starter pack.
What is
That is the
You
Teachel.
see your phone, you have a flip
After
phone.
this tutorial, you'll know how to.
Why are you pressing my flip phone,
Well,
bro?
you have to go through the tutorial if you haven't done it first.
So, dude.
I thought that was teacher started that.
Yeah, we're gonna have different
Dude, I have a
nouns, but it's the same sentence. Okay. What is a
I be
clause?
getting mad hose from this shit, bro. It actually works. It's just not charged. I should charge it.
Not quite. So
So
a clause.
Yeah, bro. Selling so much heroin.
What do you have?
Gary the snail's favorite plant, Venus flytrap.
It's the same.
It's the same sentence, just a different sentence. All right. A clause, C-L-A-U-S-E, just like Santa Claus, is a group of words that has a subject and a predicate in it. All right. So, it's got a noun doing a verb.
Every time I
A
try,
noun and a verb.
every time I type my stuff in push enter, it just goes back to yours.
Oh, then just hit submit.
It goes yours.
Sure.
Let me take this one.
Okay. So we have two types of clauses here. We have clauses that need to be in a sentence and clauses that we can take out of a sentence. All students who do their work will pass. All right. Who do their work is the clause here. Now, if I take who do their work out of this sentence, does the meaning of the sentence change?
I went to 11:40.
42.
All students who do their work will pass. Is that different than all students will pass?
Yeah.
Yes, all right, because it restricts the number of people who will pass. It changes the noun. The noun is no longer all students, it's all students who do their work will pass. So that we call a restrictive clause. A restrictive clause, there are no commas, because it has to be part of the sentence. Hannah, who has not done her work, may not pass. All right?
Damn.
If I take out who has not done her work, does the sentence still mean basically the same thing?
Yes.
Hannah may not pass. All right. So this is what we call a non-restrictive clause. It's giving you more information about the noun, but you don't really need it. So in that case, we put commas around it because commas mean we can take it out of the sentence. So this has to be here because it's restricting what the subject can be. This just giving us extra information. So Cinderella's favorite plant is the Venus flytrap, which eats insects.
What the fuck, yo?
All right. So the clause here is which eats insects. Do we need to know that to know what the Venus flytrap is? No. It is non-restricted. It's giving us extra information, but it's not necessary for the sentence. So in this case, we put a comma here. All right. Now, if you get confused with any of this, if you've done enough reading in your life, a lot of us kind of get a sense we feel like there should be a pause in the sentence. Cinderella's favorite plant is the Venus flytrap. which eats insects. There's kind of a natural pause there, if you notice. So if you are unsure, trust your gut and hope that your gut has actually read something before. All right.
Shit, yo.
We're gonna do 10 of these little examples together. Thomas Jefferson bought the mystery novel that he had been longing to read at the book sale. So the clause is that he had been longing to read. Does that tell us specifically which novel he bought, or is it extra information?
Extra.
No, it's the type of novel he was wanting to read.
All right. So these are mystery novels that Thomas Jefferson bought. This is the one he'd been longing to read. This is the other one.
Listen to me with that
Yes.
bullshit.
So it's restricting which novel it could be. It's the one he'd been longing to read. Okay? So we gotta get rid of the comma. We need this part of the sentence. So we have to get rid of the comma.
I gotta get NP.
All right. All of them? Both of them here, yeah.
That is the move.
So here, Thomas Jefferson bought the mystery novel that he'd been longing to read at the book sale. Because this is the one he'd want. This other one, he didn't want to read this one, but he bought it, he still bought it. So he bought the mystery novel that he'd been longing to read, not the other one. All right. Winnie the Pooh loved the horse that lived in his neighbor's yard because he was always swishing its tail. All right. Why are we getting rid of the commas?
Because specify which one?
All right. So it's telling us which horse it is. He loved the horse that lived in his neighbor's yard. He didn't love the horse that lived in Ashley's yard. He didn't love the horse that lives in Big Santa's yard. He loved the horse that lived in his neighbor's yard. So it's a necessary part of the sentence. It is a restricting clause. But bam, we get rid of the commas. No commas there.
You finish it?
It shows him where you are. That's where you want.
Jimmy Carter's dog, which is almost as tall as a horse, always knocks me over when we play fetch. Do I know what dog it is without that extra information?
Yeah.
All right, it's Jimmy Carter's dog. All right, I already know what dog it is, so this is just giving me extra information. It's just giving me extra information describing the dog. So I already know which dog it is.
Kodo. I mean the live stream.
And again,
Live stream.
if you read the sentence in your head or out loud, Jimmy Carter's dog, which is almost as tall as a horse, always knocks me over when we play fetch. If I don't pause, it sounds
You can't see the camera. It's
But
a
if I
game.
say Jimmy Carter's dog, which is
Oh, I
almost
got
as tall as a horse, always knocks me over when we play fetch, that makes more sense. That sounds better. All right. So we need the commas. It's extra information. It's not restrictive.
Got you.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry. Mickey Mouse wore tennis shoes that had roller skates hidden on the bottom.
Where's it going to?
So, does it tell us, does it restrict which set of tennis shoes he wore? Does it tell us specifically which set of tennis shoes he wore? Okay, it's the ones with roller skates. It's not the other tennis shoes, it's these ones. So do we need a comma or do we get rid of the comma? Get rid of the comma. All right, it's telling us specifically which shoes Mickey Mouse wore. It's those ones with the roller skates on the bottom.
Oh, so it picks the people that you chose earlier?
Bingo. George Washington thought the astronaut suit, which was bulky and white, looked like a giant marshmallow. All right. So, do we need to know that it's bulky and white to know which suit he wore? No, it's the astronaut suit. All right. We already know which suit. It's the astronaut suit right there. So we don't need to know that it's bulky and white. That's just giving us extra information. It's extra information. So we throw commas in there.
There's more.
Yes, sir.
So I like try to click through things. I go to the same one as you guys, but I can't do that. So I kind of did really bad on this.
Yesterday, Harry Truman wore his craziest sunglasses, which are twice the size of his face. All right, so do I already, if I take this out of here, do I know which sunglasses we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his craziest sunglasses. So I already know which sunglasses we're talking about. This is just extra information. This is just giving me more information than I actually needed. So we have a comma there because I can take it out of the sentence and the sentence still means essentially the same thing.
If I didn't go, she would have closed the bar.
Wonder Woman's ghost stories, which she always tells in a creepy voice, are popular during camping trips. Commas or no commas?
Commas.
Why commas?
Because it's inferring something else, saying like what's sort of it's like an addition to the story she tells.
Okay, so I already know which story. We already know they're Wonder Woman's ghost stories. That is specific. I know which stories it is. It's not some other stories. It's Wonder Woman's ghost stories. So I don't need that part of the sentence, so I leave the commas in. John Quincy Adams brought the floppy hats
Wait, I
that
missed
fell
the last
over his
one.
eyes to the beach. Huh?
I missed the last one.
Commas.
Pay attention.
Just keep the commas. Don't change
Commas?
Don't change. Yeah.
John Quincy Adams brought the floppy hat that fell over his eyes to the beach. Why do you want to get rid of the commas?
No commas.
When I get rid of the commas, it means I need this in my sentence.
It just sounds better.
Need commas.
That's
It does sound better without
So
commas.
I'm not gonna put commas in it. That's all.
All right, so the question is why? Because you're correct. There should not be commas here because it definitely sounds better. John Quincy Adams brought the floppy hat that fell over his eyes to the beach.
I don't know.
Oh,
That's
shit.
how we've been going with
That's how I
commas.
There could be
That's
so many
what's-
I don't
different
know
floppy
the
hats.
specific-
Which kind?
Okay, so this is telling us which floppy hat it is. It's the one that fell over his eyes. It's not the one that falls over his ears. It's not the one that, that falls off his head all the time. It's the one that flops over, that fell over his eyes. That's the floppy hat that he brought to the beach. It is specifying which one it is. Last one. At the mall, Miss Piggy bought a goldfish that looked like it was smiling. Why not? I agree. Why? Why do I need that last part of the sentence?
Because it tells what she's doing at the mall.
Well, we know she brought a goldfish at the mall. So this phrase is describing the goldfish. So why do I need it in that sentence?
Because it describes what she's doing.
It tells you what goldfish you
It tells you which goldfish she brought. She bought the one that looked like it was smiling. She didn't buy the one that had green stripes. She didn't buy the one that ate the other one. She bought the one that looked like it was smiling. All right. So we'll come back to this, but I wanted to kind of get that out there to you.
What's the last one?
Just leave it.
Leave it?
All right. So the four of you who actually are responsible human beings and turned in your little paragraphs here, you get credit for it. We're gonna do a quick little color mark with it. So what you're gonna do, I'm gonna give you 5 different colored markers. You are going to use one color to underline your thesis. You're going to use another color to underline your two context sentences. You're going to use a third color to underline your 2 quotes, a fourth color to underline your analysis sentences, and a fifth color to underline your concluding sentence. This is my way of having you check to make sure everything that is supposed to be there is there. Once you give that back to me, you will get credit for having done the first draft of this. So if you are anywhere on my list here, you should take this time to get yourself off of those lists. And
I just did the no writing.
excellent. The list of shame. Well, do your work then.
Dakota, what are you doing at practice today?
I don't even know.
How long was it?
Ends at 5.
You're a true American hero.
5:30.
Then you go in your car.
Wait, can you run the
Is your specific rifle piece or specific break?
I can't see it. These are like that big.
All different words.
But when you refresh it, that one changes.
Change what point out with class.
Was it?
It doesn't hurt. It's annoying.
Oh, yeah. Ours is gonna do that.
Wait, can you read this?
Talk about somebody.
Can I what?
Could you lavishly talk about somebody? That's not even
Lavishly talk?
I would never say like you could lavishly describe someone. So I don't know. You could lavishly talk about somebody, but I would not. It sounds weird. I would not.
That's not.
Like I said, I think about lavish descriptions. I think of lavish, for like adornments, but I wouldn't say I lavishly talked. Who's my fourth person who actually did this?
Me.
Can I not put my name on? Swear to God, I did that.
If you did, it didn't hurt. It's always a possibility. All
Yeah,
right.
this is the shit we about to be doing.
Wait, can you read this? I
Hardcore.
forgot the colors already.
All right.
We-
So you're gonna do one color for your thesis, one color for your two contexts, one color for your two quotes, one color for your two analysis, and one color for your conclusion. We are checking to make sure we actually have all of these things in our.
That might be it.
What's the king's name?
Duncan.
Duquesne?
Duncan.
Duncan? Duncan what? Dick.
I had a first grade. Like this. I really just went this.
Thesis on eight.
This is everything before.
Yup. Look, I like this. Yes.
So I only
I
have
have this piece right here.
I got
it. I wish I had a great chance to not keep these. Good. So what the smell of this? This one makes me faster.
Why are you keep watching somebody else's screen?
Yeah, why is
I
it stuff like
can
that?
in 1 second.
Bro, put the public doll out.
No. We've been like looking at the touch glass for a while.
Facts, yeah, you know.
I did it, but I didn't do good.
So you wouldn't hit elbow?
Yeah, he
This is so.
I thought you wanted to essay for it. He typed it correctly.
I got two on my.
Not paragraph.